this bag, we are going to make a slip knot and place that onto our hook. And then we are going to chain 64. Now, after chaining 64 chains, we are going to go ahead and work back into the first chain that we did. So I'm not slip stitching to join. I'm simply going to start single crocheting in the back hump. I like to do that because then the top of your bag is really nice and pretty with that V stitch on top. So we're going to go ahead and single crochet into each stitch around. We're not joining with a slip stitch. We're just starting in that first stitch for the round. You can use your tail end to even this out later because I know there's a bit of a jog in height there. But for sure, mark the first stitch in your round. We'll be using these stitch markers like they're our best friends, so be sure to get cozy with them. So I'm going to single crochet in the back humps of those 64 stitches around. So now we're ready to work our very first stitch of round 1. So for this bag pattern, we have a front and a back, and we're working the same stitches along the front and then repeating those stitches along the back. That way it's double-sided. So for this video, I will be working along one side of the bag, and then you'll simply repeat the same instructions on the back side as well. So we're basically like doing it twice every round. So for the very first stitch, we are going to do a split single crochet, which if you see this V on the front here, we're going to go right in the center of that V. And when we come out the back, there will be an upside down V that goes on each side of our hook. And that's how we know we've entered correctly. Then we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And we want to pull out this loop much higher than we normally would with a single crochet stitch. The reason why is we want to make space for when we work through the stitch on the next round. Then I'll yarn over and complete that stitch. And you'll notice I have a bit of room here, which is good. It always evens out. You definitely want to make sure you're giving yourself space and reducing any frustration. I'm going to go ahead and mark that stitch. If you find the split single crochet is hurting your hands too much or is too difficult, the culprit usually I find always is not pulling that loop up high enough. So just be really conscious of your tension and pulling up that loop so it's easy to get into for the next round and you don't have to fight it as much as I am right now because I didn't work these maybe as loosely as I should have. So I have done a split single crochet into the first of each of the three first stitches. And now we're going to do back loop only. So instead of going through both loops, we're simply inserting our hook into the back loop only and single crocheting 3 stitches in the back loop. Then we are going to split single crochet 3 stitches again. Then we will back loop only single crochet in each of the next 2. And then we are going to be skipping a stitch. So we're going to skip this stitch and split single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Now we are going to chain 1. And this is where when we chain 1, we're adding a stitch, but we're not skipping any space. We're simply chaining 1 and having that be and we're adding a stitch here because we decrease by skipping stitches over here. So I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to single crochet, split single crochet into the next 2. And then chain 1 and split single crochet into each of the next 3. Now we're going to skip a stitch and then back loop single crochet 2 and then split stitch single crochet into the next 3. And now we are going to do 3 stitches in the back loop only. And then split single crochet into the next 3. And that is half of our stitches of this round. And we'll go ahead and repeat those steps for the next round as well. So you can see, I want to show you on the side of this bag, there's 6 split single crochets in a row. So right in between those is half. And that's what we're working for. This section is half of the bag. Now for round 2, we're going to go ahead and move our stitch marker and split single crochet in the first 3, but be sure to place your stitch marker back at that first stitch in the round so that we keep track of that stitch. Now we're going to work 3 stitches in the back loops only, and then 3 stitches as split single crochets. Then we are going to skip the next stitch. Then we are going to back loop only single crochet 1. Then we are going to skip the next stitch and split single crochet 3. Now we are going to chain 1, single crochet in the previous chain 1 space. So we're going to go right into that space, the chain 1 space from the previous round. Then we're going to single crochet, split single crochet into the next 2 stitches. Then we're going to single crochet 1 into that chain space from the previous round, and then chain 1, and then split single crochet into the next 3. Skip the next stitch, single crochet in the back loop only of the next, and then we'll split single crochet into the next 3. Then we will single crochet in the back loops only of the next 3 stitches, and then split single crochet into each of the next 3. And that is the halfway point. So you'll repeat that one more time for the other side of the bag. You'll already notice this is starting to curl here just by the way we're doing our increases. And you can kind of start to see a little bit better even after this round where it's best to place our. Now for round 3, and yes, I will say that I am using a size of hook that keeps these stitches a bit tighter because I like a bag that has the ability to kind of stand up a little bit on its own and not be too floppy. But if you are struggling with this hook, you can always go up a size, and as long as you're okay with your bag being a little bit more flexible, which can be fine too. So I'm going to go ahead and move my stitch marker, and we will be doing split single crochets into the first 3 stitches for round 3. But really quick, I want to show you a trick when you're working these type of stitches. If you don't want to continue to move your stitch marker up every single round, you can simply place it around one of the stitches. I'm just going to stitch right below and then mark it. And we will always be working a split single crochet into a split single crochet here. So you can follow it all the way up. Like you'll know where it is because it's going to always be the same stitch. You can easily follow up the side of your bag. So I'm going to complete the first 3 stitches, which are split single crochets, and then we are going to single crochet in the back loops for the next 3 stitches, split single crochet into the next 3, skip the next stitch and split single crochet into the next 3. Then we will chain 1, single crochet into the previous chain space from the round below, split single crochet the next 4 stitches, Then single crochet 1 into that chain space from the round below, and then chain 1, split single crochet into the next 3 stitches. Then we are going to skip this next stitch and split single crochet into the next 3 stitches. Then we will single crochet in the back loop only for 3 and split single crochet for 3, and that is halfway through round 3. So you'll simply repeat that on the other side. So it does go quite quick. I think the most difficult part is just recognizing where your stitches are and where to place them, but it's really not too bad because it's just using a different combination of the stitches each round. I'm going to finish this and come back for round 4. So we can already kind of see where the cables are leading us. So let's keep on going with round 4. And you can notice that it is pretty easy to tell where your beginning of round is by just leaving the stitch below if you're comfortable doing so. Otherwise, keep moving it up every single round. We'll start this round with 3 split single crochets, and then we're going to single crochet the next 3 in the back loop only. Then we are going to split single crochet into the next 2, skip the next stitch, and split single crochet into the next 3 stitches. We're going to chain 1, single crochet in the previous chain space from the row below, and then we are going to split single crochet 6. Then we're going to single crochet into that chain 1 space from the round below, chain 1, and then split single crochet 3, skip the next stitch, and split single crochet 2. Now we're going to do the single crochet in the back loop only for 3, and then the split single crochet for 3, and that is half of our bag for round 4. So you can complete those steps one more time for the other side of the bag. Moving forward with round 5, we'll start by split single crocheting into the first 3 stitches, and then in the next 3 stitches we will back loop. We are going to split single crochet 1 stitch, then skip the next and split single crochet into the next 3. Chain 1, and then we are going to single crochet 1 into the previous chain 1 space. Then we are going to back loop single crochet 1 and split single crochet into the next 6. Now we're going to back loop single crochet for 1, single crochet 1 in the previous chain 1 space, chain 1, and then split single crochet into the next 3 stitches. Now we are going to skip the next stitch and split single crochet 1. And then we are going to single crochet into the back loops only of the next 3 stitches. And then split single crochet 3. And that is halfway through round 5. So just do that one more time for the other side of the bag. Now for round 6. We'll start the same way as we have the previous rounds. where we will split single crochet into the first 3 stitches, single crochet into the back loops of the next 3 stitches, then we are going to skip the next stitch and split stitch single crochet through. Chain 1, single crochet in the previous chain space from the round below, then back loop single crochet 2 stitches, and then split single crochet the next 6 stitches. Then back loop only, single crochet the next 2, single crochet in the chain space from the previous round, then chain 1, and then we will split single crochet into the next 3 stitches. We're going to skip this next stitch and single crochet into the back loop only of the next 3, and then we are going to split single crochet 3, and that is the first part of round 6. You'll just repeat that one more time. And here we are at round 7, which is the final round for the repeats in this table pattern. And so let's get this round done, and then I will instruct you on the repeat rounds. So we'll start by doing a split single crochet in the first stitches, and then single crocheting 3 in the back only. We're going to actually be repeating those first 6 stitches again, if I can make that happen. Now we're going to split single crochet into the next 3. We're going to work the next 3 stitches, including this chain stitch, in the back loop only. Now we're going to skip the next stitch and split single crochet into the next 2. Now we will do 2 single crochet stitches into each of the next 2. So we're kind of doing a strong increase here right on the center. Now we're going to split single crochet 2, and then we will single crochet the next, we'll skip the next stitch and single crochet the next 3 into the back loop only. And I just want to mention one more time that this is where we don't want to miss these chain stitches. They are stitches, so we want to make sure to single crochet in the back loop of that chain stitch, and then we're going to split single crochet 3, and then single crochet 3 into the back loop only, and then finally split single. And then you'll repeat that one more time round. Now our next steps are to repeat rounds 1 through 7 2 more times. So unless you want a shorter or taller bag, you can always do more or fewer repeats. But our next steps are just to repeat rounds 1 through 7 2 more times. I'm going to come back and show you round 1 just so we can see that transition between round 1 and 7 so we don't get any confusion happening. So I'll be back to do round 1 one more time. Now you'll notice that this edge also curves as well, and that's okay. This is just what this stitch pattern does. So if yours looks like mine, you are on the right track. Let's go back and do round 1 one more time so we can see how it's done after doing the round 7. So we will start by single crocheting, split single crocheting into the first 3 stitches. Then we will back loop only, single crochet for 3. And then we are going to split single crochet for 3 stitches. and then we are going to single crochet into that back loop only for 2 stitches, and we're going to skip the next stitch and split single crochet. And then we are going to chain 1 and split single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and chain 1 and split single crochet into the next 3. Then we will skip the next stitch and back loop only single crochet 2. And then we are going to split single crochet in the next 3. And in the back loops only single crochet in the next 3. And split single crochet in. And that is row 1 again, just so we can kind of see how that happens after row 7. And we can see where these lines are really working up nicely. So repeat rounds 1 through 7 2 more times and then come on back. Now that we've got the repeats finished, we can see that the bottom, this will be the bottom of the bag, has a lot of a curve. So what we will be doing next is 3 more rounds to even this out. That way it's, flat on the bottom and works out great for us. So we are going to start this next round with 3 split single crochets, 3 single crochet in the back loop only, 3 split single crochets, and then we will single crochet into the next, or split single crochet, then 3 single crochets in the back loop only again, and then we're going to do 8 split single crochets. So really this round is just working the stitch as is from the round below. And then on the next round, we'll be doing a few more things to really even that out. But we're just kind of evening out by working it as is. We're not doing anything from the chart or increasing or decreasing. Then we'll do single crochets in the back loop only for 3. Three split single crochets, 3 single crochets in the back loop only, and then 3 split single crochets. And then we're going to repeat that one more time and then come back for the next round. All right, for rounds 2 and 3 of this bottom part, we are going to start by doing 3 split single crochets, single crochet in the back loop only the next 3 stitches, then 3 split single crochets, and now we're going to work the next 14 stitches in the back loop only, but slip stitching. So we'll slip stitch in the back loop only for 14 stitches. You don't want to make these too tight. We don't want to tighten down the bottom. We're just evening out that curvature. And then we will do 3 split single crochets, 3 single crochet in the back loop only, and then 3 split single crochets. So you're going to repeat that one more time for till the end of the round, and then you will repeat that entire round again one more time. So now after doing those rounds to even out the bottom of the bag, we can go ahead and fasten off. Now, when it comes to weaving in this end, we want to do an invisible join, but often when we do an invisible join to the next stitch, it really kind of sometimes looks like we added a stitch, but we want our stitch count to stay the same. So here's how to do an invisible join without adding to your stitch count along the bottom here so that it works out when we place the bottom part of this bag together. We're going to skip the next stitch and then go into the next stitch as if we were to insert our crochet hook underneath both of the front loop and back loop, and then pull there. And then you'll notice that we have a line that kind of covers up this stitch from below. So we're just kind of doing a mock stitch over that stitch. And then we're going to skip that stitch again and come down the center of the last stitch worked, and then pull that. And now we can see we've made a mock stitch, but we haven't added to our stitch count. It evens that out a bit, and then we can go ahead and weave in our end.